Everyone, in case you haven't heard by now, the galaxy is about to put on a rare, really cool show. On August 21st, a solar eclipse will sweep across the United States from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean in a spectacle that has not happened in decades. Now, something even cooler, we're going to have a view of it from right here on the First Coast. So joining us now to tell us more about what we can expect to see from the Great American Eclipse, we welcome Jacksonville University Associate Professor Brian Lane. Welcome, and thanks for bringing the
Welcome
toy.
to the chat, even though I can't see you right now.
I promise.
Welcome.
These are good. There's a purpose to these.
It's
They can't
groovy,
see
man.
anything, but we'll get it.
Those are designed for looking at the sun, so you cannot see household lights.
I
through them.
am the
Makes
sun.
You are the sun.
All right, so
are
Dr.
the
Lane,
sun.
how rare is this solar eclipse?
So a solar eclipse actually happens about every 18 months somewhere on the Earth it'll be visible. The question is whether it's visible to you where you are on the Earth. So when you think about the Earth being covered by about 70% water, anytime there's an eclipse, there's not really a good chance that it'll be visible by anybody, let alone an individual.
So there's that one lucky guy in a sailboat who might catch it.
Right, and in fact, back in the early 1900s, when scientists needed to conduct experiments during eclipses, they would rent out cruise vessels to conduct all these experiments under eclipses that took place in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So what causes a solar eclipse?
So basically what happens with an eclipse is you have the moon coming in between the sun and the earth. So I've got some props here to help demonstrate
I am
this.
the sun.
So you are the sun today. I'm holding the earth and the moon is kind of hanging off in the air here. So we all know that the earth goes around the sun. Let's say it's going around in a path like this.
Everything revolves around me. Look at
Pretty
that.
much. We've got the earth going around the sun parallel to the table here. The moon goes around the earth, but it goes in a trajectory that's off a little bit. I'm exaggerating the angle here. It's off by about 5 degrees compared to this. So most of the time when the moon comes between the earth and the sun, it's making a triangle like this. When a solar eclipse happens, you just happen to have the moon coming at its midpoint of its orbit right between the earth and the sun. So what you're seeing is the shadow of the moon coming between the Earth and the Sun. Now, if you were on Mars, Mars's moon Phobos is angled at only about 1 degree, so Mars gets treated to a solar eclipse about once a day.
Oh, wow.
So if you want incentive to go colonize Mars, you get to see an eclipse about every day on Mars.
Oh, no,
Well, so what do we get to see here in Jacksonville?
We are right on the 90% line for the eclipse. So when you have an eclipse, you've got the moon coming between the Earth and the Sun, but of course, depending on where you are on the Earth, you see a slightly different angle. So what you'll see is what's called a 90% eclipse. That's where the moon will block about 90% of the sun's light. So if you think about when you see a crescent moon in the sky, what you'll see is a crescent sun during the eclipse.
Okay, so this is what we see. This is a simulation
Right, this is a
of it
simulation
right
of
here.
what we'll see in Jacksonville. You see most of the light gets blocked. There's that little lower rim that doesn't get blocked. So you'll see a little bit of sunlight creeping out from one edge.
So this has been like the biggest talker for the last week or so. People
Yes.
cannot wait. I mean, they're planning
People are
their
having
lives
parties.
for this. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. So will we actually be able to see this from Duval County, or where is the best spot?
So we will be able to see it from Duval County as long as it's not raining, which if it is raining, you can catch NASA's live feed because the clouds come between us and the sun. The best place to see this is anywhere along this diagonal trajectory from Portland, Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Let's go.
However, all the hotels in South Carolina are booked right now.
I
for
was
this
sleeping
trip.
in my car, brother. I don't need a room.
You'll be sleeping in your car. You can go visit some family you haven't seen in years. It's a
I
good
got
Just sleep
that.
on top of the
Oh,
car.
it's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's
We-
camping.
So let's talk about our gear that we
Sure.
need to have. We need to have these sunglasses, which you can't see a thing out of.
No.
Correct. So these are designed for looking at the sun. When you look through these, the sun becomes this pale yellow dot. It's kind of surreal to look at the sun and see it in that way. But you need glasses like these to be able to directly observe it, or there's all sorts of tools you can build, like a pinhole camera or a shoebox projector. NASA has instructions for those on their website. I'll also be talking a little bit about those in a presentation tonight at the Mandarin branch of the Jacksonville Public Library. But basically what those do is allow you to see a shadow of the eclipse passing along the ground. Of course, I prefer looking through the eclipse glasses because then you actually get to see the thing directly.
So can you not just wear sunglasses?
No, sunglasses will not be enough protection because it's just like when you try to look at the sun in real life, you coil away because it's going to hurt your eyes. These are designed to block out 99.9% of the incoming light, which is the only way to make it safe. Now, one other thing to watch out for, I gave you a different pair. If you take a look at these here, these were damaged in shipping. I'm not asking for a refund because this was one out of 4,000 that we ordered this summer. But you want to check your solar glasses for little damages like that, because then a single ray of sunlight can get in and can damage your eyes.
yeah.
We also heard that some people are kind of taking advantage of this and selling fake glasses.
Yes, so what you want to look for on the back of these glasses is the ISO certification. So that's the folks who certify these for safety. NASA also has an approved list of vendors, but yes, there are some folks on Amazon who are selling solar glasses that don't have the appropriate safety
Scalping
ratings.
solar glasses.
That's bad.
That is
That's
so ridiculous.
sad.
That's one-
That's
yeah.
messed
Yeah.
up.
Now, I should mention these glasses that we have available at branches of the Jacksonville Public Library are rated appropriately, so these are safe. The ones from the library will not hurt you.
There you go.
So when this thing happens, how long will it be?
So the total eclipse will last, the total eclipse process will last about 3 hours. It'll start at 1:15 in the afternoon on August 21st. That's when you'll begin to see the shadow creep across the sun. The maximum eclipse, meaning where it reaches that 90% mark, it will be at 2:45. And then at 4:15, the whole thing will be over. The sun will be back to normal.
And you can't use a telescope to see this, right?
You don't need to. If you wanted to look at it in detail, you could get a telescope with a solar filter. Those are pretty expensive. But you know, the moon and the sun, they're visible in the sky normally, so you don't need a telescope to look. This is not like looking at Jupiter or something like that.
So I'll be
Dr.
getting my
Ling,
glasses.
thank you for making sure we are prepared.
Absolutely. Thank
Safely
you.
prepared
Thank you.
for this eclipse. And in honor of the great American eclipse, the Jacksonville's Public Library is hosting a celebration event. And you can, or if you attend, you'll receive a free pair of these solar eclipse glasses that we're talking about. And for more information, visit jaxpubliclibrary.com. Coming up next, keeping it cool during these long and hot summer days. Nikisia dishes on some of the must-have products when we come back.